All praises, Brother Elliot. I wanted to just touch base with you guys today, and hopefully, if you're watching this video, it will be a cure for what I'm going to talk about, and that's boredom. And I hope I don't bore you, but I hope by the power of the Most High, His Ruach, His Spirit, bring and inspire you through revelation and truth, and just a little bit of encouragement. And yes, I want to talk about boredom and how that's so dangerous. Boredom is extremely dangerous. And when you get to the point where you say, I'm bored, I don't have anything to do, it just seems like life is boring. And even if you don't vocalize it or say it out loud, it's something you may think if you're just sitting around in your room, or you're driving around in the streets, or you're wishing that you had some activities that you could do with other people, or just something that you could just go do that's different than what every day brings you. I want to let you know that, it's important to, first of all, get in your mind reprogrammed to thinking that you're never bored. And of course, if boredom exists, it has a definition. So of course, it's a legitimate feeling, right? But I don't want to really make it seem like it's a legitimate feeling. I want you guys to think about boredom as not even being an option, and override that with opportunities that you either create in your schedule or you force yourself to do spontaneously. Now, I'm going to begin from here. When you say that you're bored and you don't have things to do, it's usually because a lot of times it's in your mind. Now, of course, we've all experienced it, and you really do feel like there are things there just seems like there's nothing to do. And if you're really honest with yourself, there's always something to do, right? But you just may not feel like doing it. It may not be what you want to do. So boredom really comes to, I may feel unsatisfied with my options. And if you feel that that's the case, then I want to just talk to you today about some ways to kind of override these feelings and talk about how dangerous being bored is. Now, I'm going to start there. Being bored, or feeling like you don't have anything to do, or when your hands are idle and not moving and your mind is idle and not moving, that is the wide open door for Satan to come into your mind and speak to you and get you way off track. I'm not saying this happens all the time, but it does happen. When you're not moving, when you're not progressively moving forward, and you're sitting still, it's a wide open opportunity. You're basically a sitting duck, and your mind and your spirit is a target for negative thoughts and things to come into your mind to get you off track and to get you to do some things that you wouldn't normally do, or that you would maybe do, but you won't do them because you didn't have the time to do them. So I'm going to start there. And of course, I would say that's usually transgression. Sometimes you'll end up sitting because you're bored and you just feel like, I have this extra time. Let me go hang out with some friends and, drink. Or maybe that wasn't a good example, because if you had friends to go out drinking with, maybe you wouldn't be bored. So, but if that's something that you're trying to keep from doing, of course, then that's an option that comes up. If you have problems with any vices such as drug use, pornography, gossip, any things that are just transgressing the Most High, when you have idle time, usually when you feel like there's nothing to do in your schedule, that's when these things start to be enticing. That's when the temptation comes. So what I want to say today is one of the first things we need to do to overcome boredom is to declare that we're never bored. We always have things to do. And the way that you do that is to make sure that you do always have things to do. Now, it may seem cliche, and you may hear people say this, and you may have been told it yourself, but there's always time for the Most High. There's always time for God. And if you really think about how much time you spend getting into your word, going into prayer, um, fellowshipping with someone, even if it's just picking up the phone call, calling a relative or a friend, and just talking about God, giving a testimony, and just asking them how God moved in their life. That can just start feeding your spirit. So that's what we want to do. We want to feed our spirit man to make sure that our flesh doesn't start to rise up during the times that we seem to feel down. And there's always time for that. Now, I know that there's some times in life where I go in spurts, honestly. It seems like there's times where I just go, 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 go for God, and I'm hungry and I'm reading His Word, and I'm doing it like more often than other times where I'm not. That could happen for you too. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. I'm not always in the Word. I'm not always studying, but I have learned to use this as a tactic to know that if I'm bored, you know, it's discipline. If you're bored, one of the things you need to do is to at least crack the Bible open, crack the Apocrypha open, and just get some word and see how that reacts. And so that wasn't enough. Then you know that you're kind of, if you're fighting your flesh may not like that. So you may put it down or something like that, and then you want to try to still go to something else. Well, pray. Um, like I said, pick up the phone, call somebody, watch a video like you're watching this one, watch another video. If there's something that you don't understand a lot, maybe there's something that you want to know more about the Bible, a certain topic about relationships, or more about history of the Bible, or certain things, certain time frames that you may not know but you've always questioned. Then go deep into that. Do some more research. Improve yourself, improve your knowledge, and study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth. There's always time to study to show thyself approved. Always. And we're never not supposed to be students in this gospel, in the word. Another thing is, be on purpose about life. This is something that I kind of just figured out because I got so busy being busy. And that's another thing. You could actually be bored, and you can also be so busy being busy, basically being a busybody, that you're doing so much that it's almost worse because you're not productive. So having a regimented schedule is very important, and a routine. And I know that there's a lot of times where people kind of freestyle their lives. My personality is more, I kind of live by the seat of my pants, or have before, and I just like every day to be brand new, and I just kind of like to go at the days as it comes at me. But it's important also, I think, it's been more beneficial to me to really block out times and block out days of saying, this day I'm going to do this day I'm going to do this, and it doesn't have to fill the whole day, but you have one major goal that you're going to put in each day. And if there's some days where you don't have a goal set, put a goal there to enhance your life, or to enhance your business, enhance your ministry, enhance your family. Do something. Make sure you fill it with something that's attainable, achievable, and that you can mark it off and have the satisfaction of completion. That's really important. A satisfaction of completion, that builds up over time. What I'm saying builds up over time. So say Mondays and Wednesdays are the days that you go hard in the gym. Tuesdays are blocked out for Bible study, that you really want to say I want to dedicate 2 to 3 hours of Bible study. Thursdays, I want to make sure I'm going to spend time with my family, whether it be your spouse, or it be your kids, or a combination of the two, your parents, brothers and sisters, whatever, something like that, friends, something that you can put in there and say, this is going to be this day. And of course, we're going to rest on the Sabbath, Friday night to Saturday night. Sunday, I think one good thing about Sunday is to kind of spark the first of the week with something productive, to kind of, we've been programmed that Monday being day one of productivity, because usually that's the day when most people start working 9 to 5s, Monday through Friday. Not everybody works 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Sometimes you guys work weekends. Some people work weekends. But, one of the things that's really important is to spark productivity on a Sunday. Do something like that. Whether, even if it's not, work, quote unquote, it could be professional work. It could be maybe your yard work or working on your own projects or something like that. So all this I'm saying is important because as you start to do this day in and day out over the weeks, your mind, you're programming your mind to a regiment to knowing that even if you don't fill your complete day up with certain things, you know that this day is this day is this day is this, and as the days go by and the weeks go by, you're programmed and you're anticipating each day that goes by, and you don't have too much open time to fall into a trap of boredom where Satan gets you all alone and says, hey, how about you do this? How about you do this? And don't reward yourself with a whole bunch of, when you think you've gotten so far and you've done so much and you've accomplished so much, make sure your reward is not transgressing the laws of the Most High, aka sin. That's not the case. You're gonna have to build in some rewards. Build in a nice dinner with the family. Build in trips. Make sure if you know that you like to take trips and travel during certain things, even if it's a day trip, build that into your schedule. Have some rewards for the things that you do to break the monotony of a routine. But I'm going to let you know that routines, if you get into them, they're great. And I know a lot of times they get broken, especially through obligations with the family or professional obligations, things that may take you off and take you away. And that's fine, but we have to understand how to stay in sync even when the things get taken away. And so you can plan ahead to know like, hey, if Mondays and Wednesdays are my gym days, and I know I got to travel for a couple of weeks, do some research to find out if where you're going has a gym available, or if there's things that you could do to stay active. And there's always time for self-improvement while I'm on the gym point. There's always time for self-improvement. So if you feel bored, make sure that you're even studying about your diet, studying about health and fitness and your wellness goals, reading books in terms of how to elevate yourself and be the best version of yourself possible, and so on, and excuse me, and so on and so forth. So if you continue to do that, you will start to build up your spirit man and your physical man at the same time, and kind of shutting down your flesh whenever you feel like boredom is starting to come and creep in, and the voice of the enemy is starting to creep into your spirit, and your flesh is starting to rise up and trying to take you somewhere that you don't want to be. So these are just some practical steps and practical applications that I'm trying to give you guys to make sure that we do not stay bored in these times. I know there's a lot of things that are going on where it seems, especially with me, well, first of all, if you're really walking in truth and you know what's going on in this word, and you're starting to get more revelations going in this word, you're going to feel isolated. This isolation is a big part of this. And going out and trying to relate to people the way that you used to, and find people who even, see the same truths that you see, is kind of difficult. So one of the things I'm working on with this platform and with this ministry, Signal Global, is to hopefully continue to build a community of like-minded believers and understanding people who have understanding of the truth, that we can come together and have an outlet for each other to come together and express and to fellowship and to worship the Most High and to learn and be encouraged and all of that. So that's also something that may come in the future, or if there's already some opportunities for you to do that, try to incorporate that into your life to have fellowship amongst the saints. But in the meantime, do know that the isolation process is real and it exists. And the more that you start to understand, the more that you come out of this world, it's going to be hard to go out there and fit into it. And if you're trying to relate boredom to the things that you used to be able to do, that could potentially mess with your head a little bit. So you really have to go and learn how to do new things fresh, and make sure that you're not filling your time up with things that are detrimental, that are killing you, that are destroying your mind, destroying your spirit. Just don't do that, because it's going to work. It's counterproductive. It's going to work against you. Even if you think that you're getting away with it, it doesn't. There's always a bill to pay for sin. So like I said, when I was bringing this up, it seems so easy to say, and maybe not so easy to do, especially when you're right smack dab in the middle of, oh, woe is me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know, I don't have any friends, and I'm bored, and I live in a city where there's nothing to do. You have to be on purpose about this. You have to make sure that everything that you set forth before you is structured, is regimented, and just go forth and just start to, like I said, develop a routine. Block out your weeks, block out your time, and then over, the course of some time, you'll start to realize that your busyness and the lack of idleness in your life is going to continue to help make you more productive, and you're going to elevate, and new doors of opportunity will also come from that as well. And when the opportunity and the doors of righteous opportunity open, then you can, evaluate that and go through certain doors, and things will help lift you to a new level of satisfaction. And to make sure that you cut out the noise and the evil voices that may try to come to you to convince you to do other than what's righteous. Because we know that if we continue to walk righteously, our prayers will be answered, our needs will be met, and we'll have a satisfaction that may not come. It's not the same satisfaction as satisfying your flesh. It's not a dopamine hit. It's a satisfaction and a wholeness. And then when you see your blessings come, and you staying patient, and you're seeing how the Most High has continued to raise you up and elevate you, and when He exalts you in due season, it'll be worth it. You'll be happy and grateful that you did what you did, and that you stayed true and you stayed steadfast in the Most High. So don't be bored. Be busy on purpose. But like I said, don't be over busy. Don't just go around doing a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense or doesn't line up with what the Most High has you to do. So you're going to have to do a lot of self-evaluation and try to figure out where you are, what your calling is, what do you feel like you need to do, what areas in your life are lacking that needs to be built up, and then start scheduling those and improve and watch your life improve. And don't be bored. All praises. Until the next time, we'll talk to you again soon. Peace.